Hey guys, hope you're having a good weekend. Sunday afternoon now. Just got done filling up my tank, my spray tank. By the way, it's a split tank. One side's 100 gallons or 110, the other's 290. So yeah, I went ahead and filled it up. I'm actually using different chemicals, a different combination of chemicals in my solutions for each side. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about that here in a minute. I'll turn around the viewpoint and talk about what I'm using in various chemicals so you can see various chemicals and whatnot that I'm using here. And we'll turn around, like I said, and talk about the various things, the chemicals I'm using, and the cost and the variations that I'm using each side, that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll do that here in a minute. So originally I wasn't planning on starting my first round until September 20th, in that area. But yeah, they're giving some good rain. Hopefully later this week, starting Thursday, I believe. So I figure I'll go ahead and start tomorrow and try to get a lot of my yards taken care of in the next few days for that rainfall, because you want to make sure when you put these pre-emergents out that it gets rained in. Now, obviously, it doesn't matter if a yard has irrigation, although I feel like the rainfall is more effective, really watering in that pre-emergent to the soil, the shallow layer of soil, that kind of thing, right below the surface there. So yeah, you actually want a good half inch to an inch of rain to really incorporate that pre-emergent into the soil and to, get that barrier right below the surface to prevent those weeds from germinating. That's the purpose of pre-emergent. Prevents weed seeds from germinating. Essentially, that chemical layer stops it. Once it does that, it keeps it from popping up through the soil layer. But anyway, y'all, yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Like I said, that's the main reason why. And honestly, I really don't like it in terms of spraying chemicals, any kind of chemicals when it's dry, because the turf can be stressed a bit. But we did have a little bit of rain, probably quarter inch to half inch Friday night. Yeah, Friday night. So I don't feel like it's super dry now. And obviously that helped out. I wish we had more, but yeah, I think there's enough moisture in the top level of the surface of the soil there, to make it possible to spray. And that's what I'm going to do, mainly because, like I said, it looks like it's going to rain Thursday especially. So yeah, hopefully it does, assuming I get a lot of these yards sprayed. So yeah, like I said, you want to be careful when applying chemicals on heat-stressed grass if it's super dry, and you want to make sure if you're applying a pre-emergent that there's rain in the forecast. You don't want to just sit it. You just don't want that pre-emergent sitting there on the grass top, in the hot, sun, that kind of thing for a long period of time without rain, because you want that rainfall to rain it in. That way it'll activate the pre-emergent itself. So yeah, I'm going to turn around the viewpoint and we'll talk about the various chemicals I'm using. Like I said, I'm doing different solutions for each side. I got two sides in the tank there, and we'll talk about the various solutions that I'm conjuring up and talk about the price and what it treats and why I'm using different chemicals I'm using, that kind of thing, guys. But yeah, I'll turn around the viewpoint here in a second and we'll talk. Hey guys, I'm back. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about the individual chemicals that you see here. Obviously I got my little sprayer there. It's just 1.5 gallons, 2 gallons, I believe, that I have a selective in that I use for some harder, tougher weeds, that I'll spray selectively, spot spray, that kind of thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about these chemicals, guys. And after I do that, I'll get my breath and we'll talk about, why I'm putting the various chemicals and splitting the solution up, making a different solution for each side of my split tank here. Yeah, y'all, hey, listen, let's start out. Like I said, I already mentioned, the sprayer there, the little handheld sprayer. So I use Tribute Total in it. It's basically an all-in-one, all-encompassing selective herbicide. It'll take care of any broadleaf or any kind of weed in the yard and not kill your grass. Now, there are certain kinds of weeds. A lot of times, crabgrass and Dallas grass and some of those tougher weeds, you'll probably have to spray multiple times potentially to get it to die off, because it can take some time. Those are very hardy weeds. And a lot of times you have to spray them twice without killing the grass underneath. But yeah, what I'll do is there's a Tribute Total itself. It's got a little scoop in there, and I'll take 1 full scoop for 1 gallon of water. So that's typically what I'll use. Sometimes I'll put 2 gallons in there. I think it's a 2-gallon sprayer. So yeah, if I put 2 gallons, obviously I'll do 2 scoops, and I'll put a little bit of non-ionic penetrant, the sticker, as a lot of people like to call it, to help that chemical really stick to the blade of the weed, the surface of the weed, that kind of thing. That's obviously something you got to need. I know a lot of people like to use dish soap, excuse me, in order to help that chemical stick. But yeah, I just get that, something I order. It's not very expensive, and I also use it for my spray tank here, obviously, when I'm mixing up my varying solutions, you know, when I'm putting out weed treatments, that kind of thing, guys. But yeah, so that's the sprayer itself. That's what I use. That's a chemical called Spectacle. Very expensive chemical, by far the most expensive chemical. I even get a deal from, I believe his name is Jason, yeah, over at Long Life in Birmingham. I'm not too far from Birmingham, so yeah, we get a little bit of a discounted rate when we go together. A lot of other guys in the industry will buy the Spectacle in a large quantity and we get a big rebate, so to speak. So yeah, they ended up being, I bought 3 of those gallons. So it's like $1,300 a gallon, maybe a little bit more than that. But it'll allow, I mean, I can spray a lot of yards of that one bottle. I'm not sure exactly how many yards I'll treat, but I will, I will be able to make a lot of money with it regardless of the cost and spray a lot of yards. And it's highly effective. It's by far the most effective pre-emergent that I've ever used, even though it is expensive. So yeah, that's primarily for what they call Poana, or blue, I can't think of the other name, but I just call it Poana. That may be the actual name for it. I think there may be bluegrass, maybe. I can't think the other name people call it, but yeah, that's definitely a problematic weed in my area, typically in Bermuda grass lawns and that kind of thing. So yeah, you want to try to prevent that, mainly because it kind of looks funny when the grass is dormant, but it's also hard to cut. So someone that mows a lot of the yards I spray, I definitely want to keep that out of the turf if possible. So yeah, with that Spectacle, you know, I'll put in another pre-emergent, and it actually has some selective qualities in that it can kill weeds that have already grown or got through the pre-emergent level, that kind of thing. If they're in a small stage, if they've just, you know, popped up and you get that chemical on there, Princep, on there, it can kill some of those newly germinated seedlings, you know, if they happen to pop through the chemical layer, the pre-emerge, that kind of thing. But yeah, y'all, so yeah, I got that. I've been using that. I typically use it as something to mix in with a Spectacle or the Resolute if I'm spraying Resolute, which I am doing in that side, by the way. We'll talk about that. It's my smaller side. And beside it, you got the non-ionic penetrant, which is a sticker. I just call it a sticker. It's not very expensive. I think that costs, that 2.5 gallon jug there costs maybe, I think $75 to $100. It's not too expensive. It'll last a long time, you know, but yeah, it'll take me a good while to use all that up and help me, you know, make a lot of solution of chemicals, that kind of thing, guys. So yeah, beside it, I got a non-selective, or a selective, excuse me, called Change Up. It's a very effective chemical, one probably the most effective chemicals that I tend to broadcast when it comes to selective herbicide and spraying, usually in the summer. I've been doing that in the summer. Like I said, it's highly effective. It does a good job knocking out Virginia buttonweed, spurge, chamber bitter, those kinds of weeds that typically pop up in the summer. So I went ahead, even though those will be dying off pretty soon, I like to put a little bit in my solution, you know, my spray solution, pre-emergent round, just help clean up some of those weeds that are still there and have yet to die. Of course, they really won't start dying on their own until at least a few more weeks from now, or when things cool off some more, that kind of thing. So yeah, I went ahead and added some of that just to help go ahead and kill those weeds off if they're still there. And then beside it, I got another one that I add. It's called MSM. Mainer is the name of it. It's not expensive at all. I think that little container there, that white bottle, will last a good while. You know, like I said, I can make a lot of solution with it too. Like I said, the cost isn't very high, so it's highly effective against various you know, weed types and whatnot as well, and it's cheap, so that's good. So yeah, but anyway, I'll end up mixing it in both sides as well, and a lot of my solutions throughout the year, not just in the fall. I'll use it in the spring and in the summer when I'm just doing selective rounds and no pre-emergent. So yeah, it's a highly effective and cheap, so that's always good, obviously. So yeah, typically what I do, since the Tribute Total and the Mainer is a granule, it's a very small, you know, small granules. I'll put it in an empty bottle, as you can see there, and just pour a little water in it and mix it up. And and then I'll pour it into my spray tank. So yeah, that's typically what I'll do, guys. But anyway, hey, listen, y'all, hope that was helpful. I'll take a little break, and we'll talk about exactly how I'm going about mixing my tank. Like I said, it's a split tank. So I have options that I can do, and I'll give you my thinking as to why I'm doing what I'm doing, if that makes sense, guys. But anyway, yeah, I'll get a little break, guys, and we'll talk soon. Hey, guys, you see my tank here. Like I said before, it's a split tank. As you can see, this size, my big side, 300 gallons. So yeah, on this particular side is where I'm putting the spectacle. You know, like I said before, I'm using spectacle in combination with the Preemergent, which is another pre-emergent. Even though it does have some selective qualities, it'll kill some weeds that are in that seedling stage that happen to pop up in the smallest stage. Now, if it's mature, it's not going to really do anything, but if it's small and just popping up out of the soil, it may kill it. So that's good. But even that being the case, you know, I've got the selectives change up and the MSM that I like to put in small amounts into my solution here to go along the sticker, the non-ionic penetrant, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a very highly effective solution. And by the way, I typically will use a spectacle only on Bermuda lawns. And I'll tell you why I didn't mix the spectacle into my smaller side here in a minute. That's one of the main reasons why, because obviously I don't have all Bermuda. But yeah, this is typically what I'll use only for Bermuda lawns. But that's where you have the issues when it comes to poana coming up through the soil. And spectacle is highly effective, like I said before, when it comes to controlling poana. So yeah, y'all, like I said, it's one of those unsightly weeds, and I was searching for a while. About 3 years ago, I started using spectacle, trying to find something or figure out something in order to control it. But spectacle's done a great job. Pretty much every one of the yards that I use it on, it just eliminates it, keeps it from coming up. So I haven't had that issue in the last couple of years since I started spraying the spectacle. So yeah, like I said before, even though it's expensive, it's highly effective pre-emergent herbicide. But yeah, on this side, guys, like I said, this is a 100 gallon or 110. Let's see here, what's it? Yeah, 100. Yeah, 100 gallons on the left side here. And I use, sometimes I'll have both sides with the spectacle, but this particular time I mixed Resolute, which is prodiamine, is the main chief chemical in Resolute. And Resolute's actually a knockoff of Barricade, which a lot of people are familiar with Barricade. But yeah, I think I'm assuming since it went off patent, you know, there's a lot of different companies that came off with some generic brands, and Resolute is that, even though it has the main chemical ingredient that you need, which is the main thing you need to worry about when it comes to you know, the different pre-emergents that are out there by the various companies. And prodiamine is the main chemical in Resolute. So yeah, I got Resolute, and I had the other things in there, same as the spectacle side and the big side. So with the Resolute, I did add some Preemergent to go along with it. I actually made the rate a little bit higher, since Preemergent is typically probably going to be a little more effective at controlling the poana that'll come up. So yeah, got to consider that when you're mixing your chemicals. And with the solution, again, I got the non-ionic penetrant, the sticker, to go along with the change up, and the MSM, the mainer, as a selective herbicide, like I said before, which will knock out any weeds that have already germinated or already up inside the turf grass area, that kind of thing. So yeah, they're usually pretty effective at killing any kind of weeds that are already there. Again, a pre-emergent prevents new weeds from coming up. A selective kills weeds that already came up and are there, y'all. So yeah, y'all, just want to give y'all an idea of what I do, and I hope this helps you out. Let me know in the comments if you want to know some of the exact numbers in terms of ounces that I'm putting into the individual sides here for the different chemicals. So yeah, I figure y'all may want to know that, but you're gonna need a comment if y'all mind, just so I can get some conversation going. I'll let you know in the comments in terms of what I'm actually using in each solution with the chemical amounts, that kind of thing, guys. But anyway, I hope you're having a great Sunday, guys. Hope this video is helpful in, you know, letting you know what exactly that I'm spraying this first round. And let me know if you got any questions. Hope you're having a blessed weekend, guys. Talk to you soon.